Hi everyone, this is Liz and I'm speaking to Pat Sim today. Pat's the president of the ACC. Hi Pat,
Hello, Lizette. Good to see you.
good to see you. Pat, I want to know, why is the ACC special?
Well, ACC is special for a number of reasons, but they are mainly ACC is from chiropractors. So the founders are chiropractors. We've done it for chiropractic. It's been funded by chiropractors to the tune of about $4 million.
Yeah.
It's staffed by and it's taught by chiropractors. It's supported by chiropractors. So we get feedback directly from the profession straight into the college. And we think that we are producing the world's greatest chiropractors. So I think that's what sets us apart.
And so why would that be? I know this is a silly question, but why would you want someone that has had that chiropractic input?
Well, it's important because our graduates want to get jobs. The people who are employing our graduates want to make sure they can do what they can do. So we'd like to think that we're providing graduates who have critical thinking skills so they can challenge and they can look elsewhere, but they know already what to do when they get into practice. They're not necessarily having to be retaught once they get there.
Yeah, so it's basically like I don't have to do the training to teach them how to be a chiropractor, which happens. I mean, when you think about hiring a new grad, everybody kind of thinks, oh, I don't really want to do that because that's so much work.
I think a way to think about it would be, would you rather grow your own chiropractor? So would you rather take someone from the school yourself and then develop them as a chiropractor in your practice with you over a number of years? Or would you rather just go to a shop and buy one off the shelf? So we like to think that ACC is very much like developing it yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, that you're getting feedback into the profession or into the college already because you're one of our supporters, and so you know what we're doing. You're there all the time. You're engaging with our students as they go through their process, and then you're there at the other end to pick them up once they graduate.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when I think of chiropractic, we always talk about the three-legged stool in chiropractic. So there's the philosophy of chiropractic, there's the science of chiropractic, and there's the art of chiropractic. How does the ACC fit into that model?
I'm going to be a little bit on the edge here and say I think a three-legged stool is stupid because they're not very stable in my view, and I have arguments about this with some of my colleagues. But I much prefer the model of a one-legged stool. So think about a stool with one leg with a strong base underneath it. And in that model, the one leg is philosophy, because that is the thing that sets us apart from everybody else, is the fact that we have this really cool philosophy that underpins everything that we do. It's central to everything we do. And so I think that one-legged stool, or that metaphor at least, is perhaps more appropriate. The other way to go, and I think people would be very familiar with this, is a four-legged stool rather than a three-legged stool. So when you have philosophy, yes, and you have science, absolutely. We teach both of those things through ACC. And of course, we teach the art, the skills of being a chiropractor. But the one thing that ACC adds to that three-legged stool is the fourth leg, and that's the business side of things. Wow. So what does it take to actually execute your philosophy and your science and your art within a practice? So that's the thing I think is often forgotten. We could also argue perhaps that the fourth-legged stool is also the politics of it all, which in many ways is the outward promotions and everything else of chiropractic, and also shows how important it is that we have a political say in things.
Yeah.
At least that's how I would see those models.
Oh, that's really interesting. I love that. And so something I really love speaking to you guys of the ACC and how you think is when that person then comes out of chiropractic school. I think when you in high school, you don't really think about that. But when you have had so much better input in being a chiropractor, your earning potential as a chiropractor from day one is better. Would you say that is something the ACC is working towards?
I would see earning potential as a function of your impact on society.
Yeah.
So, I think the way that ACC has gone about its formation, and going back to that first question you asked me about why ACC is special, is because there's so much energy that has gone into the college. It's not my college. It doesn't stand alone from you or the other guardians or the other supporters that we have come across in our time. But because of that energy focusing on this one thing, those students can't help but have a greater impact as a result. And I think that's obviously going to have an impact then on how well they earn. So I'd like to think that through their business stream at the college and through the philosophy they've got and through the science that we teach them and through the skills that they have, their ability to cope and, well, better than cope, their ability to make a difference to their communities is going to be greater than anyone else. So yes, I'd like to say that their earning potential goes up, but that really is just an indication of how much impact they're having on the world.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And one thing I want to say is the ACC is in their second year of teaching at the moment, or just had 2 years. This the third year is coming in. Am I right?
Oh, it's a bit complicated, but yes, we started teaching in 2020.
Yeah.
We taught 8 weeks and then had to go into hibernation because the world went a bit crazy. Restarted last year. We folded in the 2020 cohort with a new lot of students in 2021, and they went together through 2021. Those students now move into the second year of the bachelor. Okay. So we're taking in another lot into the bachelor degree, but we're also opening up the pre-bachelor program as well through the prerequisites that we're starting to offer. So we're taking in 3 groups of students basically.
Yeah, that's awesome. But the thing I want to state here is that the ACC is still young. And I know that even though you're still young, you've actually achieved so much. I know that you've got approval for fee help, which is massive if you want to study chiropractic. And then just recently you got CCE accreditation, which once again, if anybody understands how important that is, that means that students can go work anywhere they want to. And it's usually the big hurdle. I know when I studied it, in South Africa, we didn't get CCA accreditation until the program was like 15 years old, So that's huge. And I know people think that you want to support a college once they have shown, once they've graduated their first students, or 5 years in or 10 years in. But I would really like to point out to people that now is the time to get behind the college, because now is the hardest time for everyone. And you have every time, if you go to Concordia, if you listen to me speak about the college, it's just so different and it's just so stable. And I would just implore everyone to support the college.
Yeah, thanks, Liz. It's certainly the case. And I should say, with that professional accreditation, it's accreditation with conditions, and that's important to know too. And we're not sort of shying away from that. Those conditions are just to guide us to make sure that as we continue to develop, that we do keep meeting the standards, and we would like to think that we're going to exceed those standards, because we see the accreditation process as a way to produce great chiropractors, which again is our goal. So, until we bring about our first cohort of students, those conditions will remain with us. But we are highly confident that we will get through that process well.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Pat, for all that information and making me think about which kind of stool I want to sit on.
Well, perhaps the other thing is to walk.
Yeah. That's true, but that's a whole different conversation and idea. Thank you so much, and we'll catch up soon.
Thanks. See you, Liz.
See ya.